Alright, new iPhone and that. iPhone 16e. Let's see if it's worth upgrading from my 15 Pro Max. While I got my Lamborghini Aventador parked outside my $16 million mansion that way currently located in the bag. What am I talking about, bro? Let's watch the video for
Hi, welcome to Honesty Wireless, the world's most honest salesman here. How can I help you today? Hi, yeah, so I'd like a cheap new iPhone, please. Cool. So unfortunately, the iPhone SEs are out of style, but we do have iPhone 14s. I think that'll be perfect for you. I'll get you started with that. Actually, I'd like a cheap, small-ish iPhone with a 48 megapixel camera, specifically. Okay, well then I can get you the iPhone 15 to get started. Perfect. Wait. Okay, so I would like a cheap, smallish iPhone with a 48 megapixel camera, and I gotta have Apple Intelligence. So, okay. Nobody ever asked for that, but then I'll get you with an iPhone 15 Pro. We got those on refurb. Okay, so I have exactly $600 to spend on a cheap, smallish iPhone. I need a 48 megapixel camera. I need Apple Intelligence. I need an OLED screen. I heard that was good. And it's got to have Face ID. And I want that action button. So yeah. Okay. No, yeah, that's still, an iPhone 15 Pro should actually be good for all of your needs. So. And also, I hate high refresh rate. So it's got to be 60 hertz. And MagSafe, I hate that too. Don't want that. Who are you? So this is the brand new 2025 iPhone 16e. And this is not a budget phone anymore. So the SEs of the past used to be definitively budget. This one is not. This phone starts at $599, and Apple storage upgrade prices are still ridiculous as usual. So the phone that I happen to be holding and testing right now costs $900. So this is not a budget phone. It happens to be the cheapest new iPhone available, but it's not cheap anymore, which makes it much harder to see. The iPhone SE for the past 2 generations, even though it's been old body, new chip, it's been the easiest iPhone to recommend for most people. To your parents, to kids, to random people getting their first iPhone, to anyone who is randomly upgrading from an old phone. It's just the cheapest new iPhone, and it's fine. But
I used to have a fucking iPhone SE in the shape of an iPhone 5 Pro. Those were dark times, you know. It was gold too. But I have to be grateful for that shit, cause obviously it's my mum, innit? Put that for my 12th, 13th birthday or something like that. You know, I stole another a phone van.
Those phones were $399 and $429. So at $599, this phone that they've made, we just look at it differently now. And so I've been using this phone for the past week, trying to figure out who I think I could actually recommend to buy it, and I don't think there is one. The secret.
These Bumbleclaw adverts, cause off my screen.
To making the SE iPhone so cheap for years has been the part spin strategy. Basically taking parts that they've already spent the money engineering and just Frankensteining them together. And this is true again for this 16e. So this time it's mostly in the body of the iPhone 14. So you've got your aluminum build, your flat sides, your USB Type-C, even IP68 water resistance, but then it's a new single camera ring on the back. We'll get to that in a minute. And they've added the action button to the left side too. Up at the front, it also still appears to be straight from the iPhone 14. You've got your 6.1-inch screen with a notch and Face ID. It definitely is just all bringing the cheapest iPhone up to date with a more modern look. Again, remember the last one looked like this, so this is way better. It's not the brightest display in the world, so once you get it out into direct sunlight, it's a bit less visible than some other actually modern displays. And it's also still 60 hertz, which is still silly. But in general, it looks fine. But this is exactly where the nickel and diming begins. So you've got this whole family of iPhone 16s now, 16e, 16s, and 16 Pros. Good, better, best, if you want to call it that. And so the cheapest iPhone, they've had to take stuff out of it to get it down to this price. Some of the stuff they've taken out, not that big of a deal. Some of the stuff they've taken out, kind of harder to swallow. So here's one. The headline is that it gets the newest silicon straight from the flagship iPhone 16, the A18 chip. Great. Asterisk, this is not exactly the same silicon. This chip has one less GPU core. Pretty classic binning, not that big of a deal. This happens all the time. We just saw the Oppo Find N5. That also has a binned Snapdragon 8 Elite with only 7 cores instead of the typical 8. It's barely a footnote, honestly. You'll only really maybe notice it with intense gaming, with the few games that are actually that taxing on the GPU. But aside from that, it's really good. This formula has worked in the past, and it's always ended up being, on paper, one of the most powerful phones in its price bracket, and that's still true. It still is. So a binned CPU, GPU, fine. Fine cut. Another cut, colors. There's no colors. There's only matte black or matte white. This whole design here really is actually, it's super clean and also super boring. There's a complete lack of text anywhere on the back. And then honestly, the relatively small camera bump is a bit refreshing, honestly. But yeah, if you want any type of color on this phone, you'll need a case or a skin to get that. It's funny, the last 2 iPhone SEs I reviewed were both bright red, which I thought was fun. And now there's actually no more product red products anywhere in Apple's lineups. That was that program that was the red colored products where the proceeds would go to help support AIDS programs. I kind of wonder what happened to that. So colors, that's another cut. Okay. No MagSafe in a 16e. That one feels a little worse. So obviously the last SE also didn't have MagSafe, but that was 3 years ago. And MagSafe has now become a staple of the iPhone experience, at least I thought. And this is supposed to be the cheapest version of a modern iPhone. But no, this phone has just slow first-gen Qi wireless charging that maxes out at 7.5 watts. And since there's no magnets to make sure you get alignment right, if you're just a little bit off, it can be painfully slow. This week I had it on my desk charger for like half an hour, and it gained 0% while just getting warmer. I don't have to remind you of the downsides of early wireless charging. Of course, if you really, really want MagSafe on your 16e, there's nothing stopping you from getting a case. So I've got one from channel sponsor D-Brand here, their grip case, and it's got the magnets in the case. Like, we've been the phone with magnets for so long in my head that I just feel like it's super disappointing to not have them in a new $600 iPhone. But now we got to talk about that camera. So there's a new single camera on the back. I actually think the whole good, better, best thing with the iPhones, where like the cheap one has 1 camera, the middle one has 2 cameras, and then the best one has 3 cameras, it actually feels pretty natural and like an easy to understand hierarchy. But please understand that this single camera is also not the same as the primary camera on the iPhone 16. It's 48 megapixels, just like the 16 and 16 Pro, but that's only part of the story. It is actually a much smaller sensor with inferior stabilization. So that manifests itself into just a very different look for photos. It kind of reminds me a lot, actually, of the A-series Pixel phones. It's not necessarily a worse look during daytime anyway. It's just different. Way less shallow depth of field. A lot less natural bokeh. There's still plenty of sharpness and typical iPhone colors and saturation, but then the image definitely gets much more quickly soft as the light starts to go away, because the tiny sensor is just not getting as much light. It gets less likely to freeze action and more likely to kick in night mode. Also, missing the second lens means you're missing cinematic mode, spatial video, and macros. So I just think, in general, if you're the type of person that cares a lot about the camera on your phone, you can see the steady progression of better iPhone equals better camera. Not do the precision finding with any air tags or anything like that. There also is the actual.
What else is there?
How are you not talking?
Yeah. I'm off this. Yeah, man. If you watch this to the end, honestly, I'm very, very sorry I couldn't watch that whole thing. Obviously, man just wanted to see what the iPhone 16e was about. But it's looking kind of normal still. It looks decent. But all the other bullshit, I couldn't care less. A phone's a phone. That reminds me of the time when... Shit. I don't know if I should say this, but I remember year 6, so I had a brethren called Connor. You know how like register time, like in the morning, like the classroom, like when the classroom was gonna begin. I don't know if every primary school did this, but you know, like once the register's done, the teacher would get like someone to like what's it called? I don't know what the process is called, but like 2 kids go together, hold like one end of like the register, or 2 kids will go. It doesn't matter who holds it. No one can really give a fuck. Go to the reception, give them the register, and along with the register, there'll be a box of phones. You get me? So what I done was I got a brethren. Well, he wasn't my brethren. Can't rub the. Well, he was actually my brethren. I was a snaky, you know. What I did, I rubbed his phone in it. It was an iPhone. I don't know what iPhone that was. It was either an iPhone SE or iPhone 5. Probably an iPhone 5. Took it, bro. Snuck it in my pocket, bro. When the end of the day came out, bro, the way my little 2 feet were walking straight out the gate, bro. Who would have thought I was a marathon runner, fam? Marathon walker, even. I was like, bro, I was gone. I dip you up, bro. I said, good, that man tried doing it, find the iPhone thing and kept getting notification. I don't know why I even took it, bro. I couldn't even use the phone, fam. He had a parcel on. So my ass thought, yeah, let me just take this car on the phone. Like, he won't have a parcel on his phone. Like, you know what? I was a bad youth. Man was in what, year 3, fucking trying to pull kids' eyes out and like, taking eyelids off. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with me, fam. I was fucked up. I might be still fucked up. You ain't gonna hear my stories about what I done 2 years ago. You're never gonna hear that shit. But obviously, man's a changed man now. I'm doing this YouTube thing. You get me? So man's gonna be like, it's gonna be a YouTuber. You get me? Like, I'm a YouTuber now. Like you trying to say, like, man's going gym. Joking, I can't afford gym. Man, just home workouts and that. Look at hinge. Get me? Shoulders popping, I'm popping. It's an extra large as well, you know. But it's like, it's not like I'm fat dog. Like, I just got one body. You get me? Anyways. You know them ones when you just stoned and you just chat shit. I'm not stoned at all. I don't smoke. But I'm just saying, like, it reminds me of them days, like, when I used to smoke and I just waffle, bro. I used to smoke like 6 spliffs to 8 minimum. I still got, you know, we ain't talking about that. I wanna play a game, fam.